Hey guys, Games for Life here, and in today's video we're gonna take a look at all plants in Astroneer. Behind me we've got the Astroneer garden with spaces for each type of plant, so we're gonna be planting them one by one and we're gonna look at their Astropedia entry. On this side we've got the 6 types of defensive flora, and on this other side we've got the 9 types of aggressive flora. Then we've got some bonus ones that we're gonna talk about later. These ones are specifically not in the Astropedia. They're a little bit more secret or hidden or whatever you'd like to call them. So I'm really excited for these as well. I'm thinking we should put those right at the entry here. Now before we actually start planting all of these, I would like to ask you to subscribe, because I've got a ton more videos in the works and I think they're gonna be really exciting for you guys, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. Alright, but enough of that, let's get to actually planting these. And we're gonna start with the defensive flora. So let's take a look at the Astropedia. So here's our defensive flora. We've got the bounce vine that you can find on Silva only. So let's go ahead and plant that. There it is. So we can have our defensive flora on these 6 spots right here. And we're gonna start from this corner. So we'll plant some of these. Now all of these plants are mutant seeds because we collected them from plants in the wild. This means they are not gonna try to kill us, so that's really good, because otherwise this garden would be very dangerous, especially with the aggressive flora, but we're gonna be pretty safe. By the time we're done with planting all of them, the first one should already be fully grown, so we can take a look at them when they've reached maturity. The next one is very similar to the bounce vine. This is called a spine lily, and you can find it either on Calidor or on Aatrox. Now this is the stuff that when you step on it, it kind of throws you upwards and provides some nice damage along with it. The thing is, you're gonna get some more fall damage when you land. These are a little bit hard to deal with, especially since they usually come in huge packs. Like, you're not gonna encounter just 1 or 2 of them, it's always like 10, and they can really catch you off guard. Let's move on to the lash leaf. This is a bigger plant, so it's really easy to spot, but if you don't see it, it will fling you upwards with its tongue, again giving you damage plus the additional fall damage when you land. Now you can find this only on Vesania or on Novus, and this is a pretty cool plant. Even the seeds look pretty weird, like it's a tongue coming out of a seed, and that's just a little bit disturbing. Let's throw these in the corner right here, since they're gonna need a little bit more space. As I mentioned, these are pretty big, so if we can't fit 8 of them, then we'll just plant however many fit in here. But I'm really hoping we can get all of them. Yeah, we've got enough space here. We're gonna come back to them in a minute when they are fully grown, just to see what they really look like in action. Now the Tistle Whip, I hope I pronounced that correctly. You can find this again on Vesania or Novus, and when you get too close to it without seeing it, it will just come down on you and give you a nice little slap. That's gonna send you flying probably, so you'd better avoid these. The good thing about these is that they are pretty easy to spot, since they are tall, so you're gonna see them from far away. And we've got all of them planted right there, that's nice. Our next plant is the pop coral. This is pretty common, you'll find this on all planets, especially in caves, but also on the surface. And this only attacks you when you kill it, so if you dig it up, it will explode with a cloud of gas. And usually one of them shouldn't be enough to kill you unless you are really close to it. But since there are most of the time a lot of them close to each other, it's kind of a guarantee that when you dig one up, you're gonna dig multiple of them, so you can die pretty easily from that explosion. Let's throw these in this little spot right here. Alright, so I guess the defensive flora still stays defensive even when you plant it again. So at least we don't have to worry about the aggressive flora shooting at us, but we can still get damage from these. And we can actually see them in action. But first let's get the last defensive flora type going. Oh, and look at these sparkling when you get close to them. They are warning. Yeah, so we're gonna try to get hit by some of these just to see what happens in a second here. But first, let's look at the Whizzweed. So you'll be able to find Whizzweed on Calidor or on Aatrox, and this will basically explode if you get too close to it, and will also release a cloud of gas. This is one of those plants that it's really hard to get hit by on the surface, but in caves it can really come out of nowhere. So you'd better be careful. Let's plant all of these. I like how these are just shaking, telling us that we're getting too close to them. Oh, and we got hit by 2 different plants right there. Let's try not to die here. Yeah, so this is pretty cool, it just flings you really far, and I like that. Let's test it. Yep. Make sure you don't fall right on top of another one, because you're gonna get launched again and probably you're gonna die after. These are pretty dangerous. The spine lily throws you pretty hard as well. And these basically do the same thing. So yeah, gotta be careful when going through this part, because these will constantly try to kill us, and they kind of did it there. But luckily we respawned really close right here. So yeah, we'll find our body and then we're gonna move on to the aggressive Flora. Yeah, let's not forget about the bonus ones, the hidden ones that are not in the Astropedia. I mean, we should try to avoid these as well, because they're about to go off. So let's move on to the aggressive Flora list. First up, we've got the spiny attackers and the volatile attackers. Now these are pretty similar. You can find the spiny one on Calidor and the volatile one on Aatrox. And as you might expect, the volatile one is much more dangerous, mainly because it's on Aatrox and everything wants to kill you there. And let's put these two next to each other. We'll throw them over here. Imagine if the aggressive Flora acted like the defensive one and just all of them started shooting at us in the garden here. That would be a nightmare. Luckily that doesn't happen, we tested it before in another video, so we should be safe with that. Let's move on to the mutant attackers. You should be able to find these mainly in caves, but they're also on the surface of Aatrox, and you're gonna know when you run into one. You're probably not even gonna see it at first, you're just gonna see a projectile coming at you full speed. So before marveling at how beautiful the plant is, make sure to get out of the way. I made that mistake in the past, so make sure not to do it as well. Now let's take a look at the boom balloon. You can only find this on Glacio, and it works kind of similarly to the Wizweed, but this is in the aggressive Flora list because it kind of tries to kill you from a little further away. It doesn't really wait for you to disturb it, it kind of attacks first. And yeah, you're gonna find a lot of these right around corners. Not gonna lie, I ran into a bunch of these at first. Like I just took all of them head first. That was not a good idea. Try not to do that because these deal a lot of damage. Even just one of these could kill you. Luckily they don't do anything if you're in a vehicle, so that's basically the only way you can go through Glacio without running into these constantly, because there's a ton of them there. Up next we've got another pair, the Noxious Cataplant and the Volatile Cataplant. You'll be able to find the Noxious variety on Vesania and Novus, and the Volatile one on Glacio and Aatrox. The main difference between these is that the Noxious one only attacks you when it feels that you might be a threat to it, or you approach it, whereas the Volatile one just decides that you look tasty and you should be killed, or whatever. So you're gonna find that this is the more frustrating variety. But you can also use these to open those exocaches, because their explosive act kind of as dynamite. So that's at least a pretty nice utility for them. I actually use that quite a lot. Let's get the volatile ones planted first. And now the noxious ones. There we go. Only a few more left, and then we've got the bonus ones that I'm really excited about. Next is the dagger root. Again, a pretty common one. You can find this on all planets. You've probably already seen a ton of these, especially in caves. How they work is basically when you get close to them, they bring out some spikes from within them and they basically stab you. If one of them stabs you, you should be pretty okay. But if multiple try stabbing you at once, you're as good as dead. Or if you don't move fast enough, one of them could stab you twice or even 3 times in a row. And that's not good for your health, basically. Try staying away from that. The problem with these is that you often won't see them until it's too late, because in really tight caves or stuff like that, you're gonna just run into them, especially at first when you're going around caves on foot. But when you get a rover or a train in there, it's gonna be pretty easy because none of the plants actually attack you while you're in a vehicle. So you're gonna have an easier time with that. Now let's move on to the last column here. So up next we've got a Hisbine. This usually sits on cave walls and ceilings, but you can also find it on the floor. Even though you can find it on all planets, it's actually not that common, and thank God it isn't, because this sends a poisonous cloud of gas that basically tracks you wherever you go. So it will relentlessly come after you for a few seconds until it disappears. But if you don't see it coming or you take too long to get out of its way, it's basically gonna kill you. So just one cloud of poisonous gas from these plants is enough. That's why you should really be careful with these ones. Thankfully, there's not a lot of instances where there's multiple of them right next to each other. But when that happens, it's pretty bad, so you should just get out of there. And last but not least, we've got the most beautiful plants in Astroneer, the elegant spewflower and the noxious spewflower. Back on Calidor we actually have an elegant spewflower farm that's on top of a gate. That was a really nice farm, I enjoyed building it, so you can take a look if you want. But basically what both of these do is if you get too close, they will retract their petals and will throw out poisonous gas at you, harder than any plant before. So I said the Hispine is pretty bad with the poisonous gas, but these ones will kill you so much faster and at a wider range. The only thing with them is that they are beautiful, so a lot of people like putting them around their base or in gardens like this or in farms. They really do look nice. So we'll start with the noxious spewflower. This basically is the same as the elegant spewflower, except it kind of deals a little bit more damage. But you're usually not gonna be able to see that it does more damage because both of them will just kill you too fast to notice. But yeah, if you're looking for this variety, look for the caves, and if you're looking for the elegant ones, you should find them on the surface. I think I forgot to mention you can find both of these only on Aatrox, so don't go venturing out there unprepared. That's definitely a bad idea. I've done it a bunch of times, never ended well. So yeah, don't do that. Now let's go on with the elegant ones. Right, I'm really curious, which one of these two do you think looks better? Because I've had a lot of people tell me that the noxious ones just look better, but for a really long time I just thought the elegant ones were like more elegant, hence the name, I guess, right? So make sure to let me know in the comments below which one you think looks better. And we're gonna decorate our Glacio base with them. So whichever you choose, just let me know. Now it's time for the last two plants, and these are the special ones. We've got the fractal rose seeds. These have just been added to Astroneer and you'll only be able to find them on Novus. These are also part of the Astroneer story and they're a little secretive, that's why you won't be able to find them in the Astropedia. I will be planting them here, but just know that this is not how they look in the wild. These are really special in the sense that they will change their color and appearance based on the planet that you plant them on. So they will look different on each planet, and I've actually got a video on that where I plant fractal rose seeds on every Astroneer planet and notice the differences between them. And I think in the end my favorite was either Calidor or Aatrox. But the Glacio one also looks pretty cool, and the Silva one with this nice green here. On Novus, where you'll find these in the wild, they'll be mostly purple or pink, and they have this really nice song to them. I don't know if you can hear this, but yeah, whenever you plant one, it plays that song. And now let's get on to the next type of seeds, the sturdy squash seeds. These were limited time plants just for the Halloween event of last year. I'm really hoping they're gonna come back for this year's Halloween, but we don't know yet. However, I kept some last year because I knew I wanted to make this video. So we've got a couple sturdy squash seeds right here. The interesting thing about these ones is that you plant them again and again and again. Eventually they're gonna get different mutations. Some of them will just give you a ton of seeds in return, not just two. So usually you harvest one of these and you get 2 seeds from one, so you can double your seeds every time you replant them. But sometimes they're gonna give you like 5 or 6. And the best part is when you get a purple one, a purple sturdy squash will grow, and when you harvest that you'll also get Astronium along with seeds. So you just have to be a little bit lucky and keep on trying. Back when we completed the Exofarm event, we actually got some of those purple ones, and at first we didn't know what they were, so it was really cool finding that out. So yeah, that's basically all the plants I had prepared for today. I'm sure there are some more limited edition plants like the sturdy squash, but we'll have to unlock them along the way, and then we'll expand this garden further. Let's take a quick tour of it. So right at the entrance we've got the special ones, the fractal roses and the sturdy squash. with its multiple variations. We've got a round sturdy squash, a knobbly sturdy squash, and that's pretty much it for now, but I want to get a purple one on here as well, just to have the full variety. Then we move on. In this side we've got a defensive Flora. I'm not gonna run through there again because we might get killed, but I'm gonna just jump a bit on this. I like doing this. It's like a mini trampoline that also tries to kill you, so pretty nice. And then on this side we've got the aggressive Flora part. Luckily none of these are trying to kill us right now. Actually, yeah, these do have the spikes. I just had to test that. I just had to know. But yeah, we'll go find our buddy again. Alright, we are back, and I'm just glad that the spew flowers don't explode on us. That would be very bad. Imagine just 16 of them going off at once. And we just got slapped by the Thistle Whip. Amazing. Does the boom balloon try to kill us? Nope, the boom balloon is pretty chill actually. That's nice. And the attack ones don't try to shoot at us. So we are pretty safe on this side. So anyways, that's our Astroneer garden with all the plants in Astroneer. And as I said, when something new gets added, we'll just expand this garden. We've got it right here on Silva. I'm thinking maybe a future video here where we add some lighting to this garden. Maybe some decorations, something like that. But we'll see in the future, depending on what you guys want as well. Don't forget to tell me in the comments which kind of spew flower you think looks better. And more importantly, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a future video. I always post twice a week, every week, no exceptions. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. I've been Games for Life, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, Astroneers!